Hi guys, how you going? Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. So today we're heading off on a bit of an adventure with the Pajero Club. So we're heading up to the Tolmie Recreation Campground. So I thought I'd give you a bit of a tour of it. I've got to say, it's a fantastic campground. It's one of the better ones I've found over the years. So again, if you're heading up Mansfield Way, it's sort of north of Mansfield. And it's about sort of 22k out of Mansfield. So we've just left Mansfield and on the way up there now. One of the things I noticed, because we headed up there yesterday, and again, especially if you're towing a camper trailer or a nice big caravan, the climb, it's just this constant steady climb all the way up to the very top. So you're sort of starting at about probably 300 and 350 metres, heading all the way up to about probably 800, 850, but it's just this constant steady climb. So I believe there might be another way to get there, so it's not as onerous the climb. I'll find out for you, and if so, I'll drop it at the end of the video. But that's something just to be a bit prepared for. I had the camper trailer on yesterday, towing it up the hill, and I was careful. You know, I was sort of revving up around 3,000 mark, and I could just hear the car straining a little, so I just took it easy. Anyway, one of the big things about this campground is they have there's no power there, but there's this big massive open recreational reserve. There's lots of other little sort of hidden nooks and crannies. There's quite a few fire pits around those areas, but the big open reserve, there's sort of probably one or two big sort of fire pits. And with this reserve in particular, you must utilise the fire pits. Okay, you can't set up any portable fire pits or anything like that there. You're not permitted. So you really got to, if you want to get there, especially over a long weekend or anything like that, just make sure you get there early enough to secure something. So we're up here for the Easter long weekend for the Pajero muster, and so we actually ended up getting up on Wednesday. And that was perfect timing to be able to basically almost have your pick of sites, which was fantastic. Hot showers, toilet block, the fire pits. From that point of view, especially with the hot showers, they're amazing, absolutely fantastic. So, and it's quite a unique. There's a little bit of history there. I believe it was sort of built around the early 1920s. So there's a lot of old historic buildings. You can go for a bit of a walk, but it's sort of a great central location, only about 20-25 minutes out of Mansfield. A great place to set up base for a few days. At the time of recording, you're talking $7.50 a night per person, and kids under 14 are free. I believe it is dog friendly because there's dogs everywhere. So, but again, double check their website at the time of having a look. I believe you don't have to book, it's just a first in, best dressed sort of thing. But like I said, be mindful if you're taking the caravan up there. The climb, and I'm on basically, which road am I on? I'm on Graves Road. So I'm heading up out of Mansfield on Graves Road, and I'll give you a few little updates along the way up. We'll go for a bit of a drive around the campground and I'll show you everything. Okay? Alright, let's go. Alright guys, so we're just turning off Graves Road, heading up Old Tolmie Road. And yeah. It reminds me a little bit of the Flinders Ranges out here, these hills. Alright guys, so we're just passing Gonzaga Reserve. So we've got about probably 12k to go, and this is where the climb begins. So and it's just this sort of constant grade pretty much for the rest of the way. It's just this slowly up and up and up and up and up. And again, if you're towing a big caravan, you'll feel it pretty quickly. And coming down, you need to be very mindful too, because pretty much all the way down from the campground, you're talking about your foot's on the brake almost the entire time. So something to be mindful of, overheating your brakes. And again, obviously use your transmission to slow the vehicle down. And you almost look for a bit of relief, but there's not much relief at all. It might flatten out for 50 metres or so, and then it's just climb and climb and climb. So just be very, very mindful. And again, if you have to pull over, by all means pull over and give your car a bit of a rest. And again, it's been long. But it's again definitely well worth the trip. Definitely a great campsite to, especially if you've got a massive group. And there's little, basically just a little envelope. You fill it out when you get there. Pop in your cash, pop in your rego and so forth, and pop in the little box there. So just on the system. But again, do the right thing. So we've only got 5 minutes to go, and we're still climbing. Still on Old Tolmie Road. Again, don't be climbing. And you'll pass a couple of phone boxes along the way. Police box and the phone box. And when you get to there, you've only got about 4 minutes to go. Alright guys, so we climbed up to about 850 metres. So that was about a 450, 500 metre climb. We're now only literally a minute away, and then it starts to dip down a little bit. So we've dropped about another sort of 100 metres. So, and now we're about to sort of heading to the campground. Alright. So it's just a slight right here. Tolmie Recreational. Don't think I got the pronunciation on that right. And then it's just then a hard left. So it's 13 Tolmie Recreational Road. So you literally just drive in here, then there's a couple of old buildings, there's a couple of old churches. There's the Catholic Church of St. Joseph on the left. There's the Tolmie Mechanics Institute on the right there, built in 1920. You've also got the CFA based out of here also. And then on the right hand side you've even got the Anglican Church. I'm not sure if they're still in operation, but the Anglican Church has been there since 1889. Actually it closed in 1977. There's a bit of a playground there, you've got tennis courts, and sort of the area off to the left and right you can't camp. You've got to actually go through these gates here. They actually do the wood chop here. So we shall go for a bit of a drive and I'll take you around so you can have a look. So as you can see, there's quite a few people that have rocked up now. So this is the big open reserve. You basically just pick whatever spot you want and set up. So again, lots of great locations. Again, some under the trees. You can get everyone sort of going all the way around the outsides. There's a cricket pitch in the middle. If you're keen on having a bit of a game at cricket. But you can see there's people bloody everywhere. And like I said, there was two fire pits off onto the right there as we drove in. And then you'll see some around the outskirts down here. And like I said, you're not supposed to use any portable fire pits. Not sure of the reasons why, but respect the other rules. So if you go off here, there's a fire pit there off onto the right there. Someone's got their fire going. And you come through around here. So there's a couple of toilet blocks. Here's a nice little one here, even comes with chairs right in front of me. Fire pit there. Then over here, your little toilet block off there on the right. Lots of little hidden spots. How you going? I'm liking this one here, comes with the chairs. So this is a nice, really good shaded area. Again, another fire pit there on the left with chairs as well. That's a beauty. And then we'll head back here. And there's a few undercover areas just through here. And again, this is where they have the wood chop apparently. So you got your little stadium seating. And just on the right over here is the showers and toilets. So you got a nice big disabled shower and just, again, male and female toilets and just shared shower facilities. And that's where you actually drop off your cash, pick up your envelope if you're going to pay for anything. Alright guys, here's a little camp kitchen. Got a fridge. Just here at night time, charging the all powers unit. The kids drained the battery hard today, bit of online gaming. But yeah, it's a nice little setup. So it's open all the time. There's no lock on the door, so again, do the right thing. And again, whatever you bring in here, just make sure you take it out. But again, you got a microwave, kettle, cooktop, and a fireplace. And again, it's got there's lots of books and bits and pieces and guest books. Read a little bit of the history about the place. So definitely well worth a visit. And again, just a fantastic campsite. It's a bit late, it's about midnight, gotta be quiet. Outdoor barbecues. And they've got like a little social club building there. Not sure when that's open. Alright, so I'll show you where our little campsite is and we'll go and park, and then I'll just take you for another little quick wander. And alright guys, so we'll get the drone out and we'll go for a bit of a fly and take you for a little bit of a look from above. So as you can see, you've got your tennis courts over there on the left. The tennis courts are actually locked up though, so you'd have to contact the phone numbers there if you want to get access. There are quite a few buildings sort of on site. Directly below there is actually the camp kitchen, which is absolutely fantastic. I'll give you a bit of a tour of the camp kitchen later on. You'll see over to the right there's a fire pit, and there are only basically 2 fire pits on the right hand side of the park. Now when it comes to camping, when we're talking about the large reserve area, you can basically sort of camp anywhere. But I dare say most people obviously go around all of the outskirts of the reserve, and they keep the centre nice and clear, which is perfect. And then as things start to fill up, I dare say that the centre does fill up. This area over here is a sort of a bit of a little gem under the cover of the trees, and I'll give you a bit of a closer look at that later on from down below. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. And then swinging back over the tennis courts and then back to the start here. So you got a little playground there off to the left as well. And then you got all these sort of old
historic buildings which you can sort of check out and have a look. Now, flying past here, we've got the social club on the right there, we've got the toilets and shower block on the left, and if you keep going through this area here, there's almost another little undercover area off to the right over there, and you can use that for a bit of food prep and whatnot. But if you drive through over here, you've actually got areas off on the left here where you can camp. It is a little bit hilly though, so the prime position though is definitely sort of off over to this side here on the right. There are quite a few fire pits through this area, lots of flat areas. There are a lot of the fire pits have actually got even stump seating around them also, but this area in particular is absolutely fantastic. Lots of shade in particular. There's also a little toilet block off to the left, and then obviously you've got the bigger one off to the right there.
Alright guys, so that was the Tolmie Reserve, absolutely fantastic. Would come back here without a doubt anytime, especially if you want to accommodate massive groups. Like we had over 125 people here at this particular event with the Pajero Club. It was huge, and there was over 55 groups or 55 campers, and then there was still plenty of room. So if you're planning a big group function, by all means go check out the campground, and again, support the local community. Alright guys, hope you like what you're seeing. If there's any other particular campground you'd like us to check out, drop it in the comments. Any questions, whatever, drop them in there also and I'll get back to you. Again, share it around, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, the next adventure. Cheers guys, bye.